So it's absolutely scorching hot here in Italy right now. So if you're planning a trip to Italy this summer, you need to watch this video.
Because Italy in July and August is no joke. Temperatures can easily soar into the high 90s, which is over 35 degrees Celsius, and sometimes higher than that. And it's getting worse every year. The heat makes sightseeing uncomfortable and it's exhausting, and it can be even dangerous if you're not careful.
We've been coming here for years, and we've learned, sometimes the hard way, how to enjoy it without melting.
Today, we're sharing everything we know about surviving, honestly, even thriving in the summer heat in Italy. Andiamo!
The very first thing you need to think about before you even book your place to stay is air conditioning, because believe it or not, every place will not have it. And it's not enough to just say, do you have air conditioning? You need to get really specific.
Ask, is there air conditioning in the bedroom? Is there air conditioning in every room? Because you'd be surprised how often the answer to the first question is yes, and the answer to the second one is, well, not really.
And here's something really important to know about Italy. Italians are not big on air conditioning. There's actually a cultural belief that air, especially cold air, blowing on your neck will make you sick. It's called il colpo d'aria, literally the hit of air. So many Italians really don't see the need for air conditioning, and they'd rather avoid it.
The larger, more modern hotels in the big cities will have AC, but not every Airbnb will. The older buildings, the family apartments, the residences out in the countryside are really unlikely to have it. Or they have just one unit in the living room and they consider that to be sufficient.
So ask the specific questions before you book. Trust us on this one.
And be warned, even when there is AC, it's not going to be what you're used to at home. Often it's set so that you can't push it down below 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. The idea is just to sort of cut the edge off the heat and the humidity. It's not to make the room like a meat locker. Start sightseeing early. This is something we've really changed about our trips. And when we say early, we mean 7 or even earlier.
7 a.m. And honestly, it's magical. The streets are quiet, the air is cooler, the light is beautiful. Some major sites like the Vatican Museums, the Duomo, and the Accademia in Florence offer early entry tickets, and those are absolutely worth booking. But even without that, you can walk through the piazzas, you can wander through the neighborhoods, and you have the whole place to yourself.
Getting up early lets you avoid the places you just don't want to be during the middle of the day. The Colosseum, the Forum, Pompeii, any of those ancient ruins that are just out in the sun.
Because there's little to no shade, and the pavement and the stonework are reflecting the light back at you, just making it unbearably hot. And it's genuinely dangerous in the peak of summer. And trust me, you will not have a good time.
So see these places early or late in the afternoon after the heat has passed, and you'll also have smaller crowds.
What you want to do is build your day around the heat. Now, the Italians already do this and have done this for centuries. That's why the shops close in the afternoon. That's why the restaurants don't open until 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. The whole culture is built around the heat.
So let the heat guide your day. Get the outdoor activities out of the way by 11 or 12 so that by noon, 1 o'clock, you're sitting down for leisurely lunch in a cool place.
And then you rest. You go back to your hotel room or your Airbnb. You read, you nap, take a shower, change your clothes. What you don't want to do is to push through that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock time period outside just because you're worried about wasting time.
Because remember, in the summertime, it's going to stay light pretty late, 9 o'clock or even a little later. You're not wasting time. You're surviving.
And then in the late afternoon, you're refreshed and you're ready to go back out. It's a totally different way of experiencing the day. And once you embrace it, you'll wonder why you ever did it any other way.
When it's this hot out, you need to stay hydrated. Drink water constantly, and we really can't emphasize this enough.
And Italy makes it easy, especially in Rome. There are these nazzoni all over Rome. I mean, hundreds of them. Those are those little drinking fountains and that have water coming out of them constantly. And the water is cold, delicious, and free. So you can either bring a refillable water bottle or a reusable water bottle, or you can just buy a bottle of water and when you're done with it, refilling it as you go around town. If you don't have a bottle, you can even drink directly from the Nazzoni. All you have to do is put your finger over the mouth of the spout and water will shoot out of a little hole in the top of the spout and you can drink it just like you would an ordinary water fountain.
And don't just think about water, think about electrolytes too. When you're sweating that much, you're losing more than just water. What we do are carry little electrolyte packets that you can mix in your water bottle. And we use them particularly on those hot mornings and late afternoons when we are going to be out in the sun.
You're certainly going to want to dress for the heat because what you wear matters a lot. You're going to want light colors that reflect the sun and not dark ones that absorb it and make you hotter. And you also want natural fabrics. Cotton and linen are your friends. Leave the synthetic fabrics at home because they trap heat and they don't breathe, and they honestly get really uncomfortable and gross as the day goes on.
So think loose fitting and comfortable, nothing tight. Here's the thing, if you plan on visiting many churches, and you really should because they're some of the most beautiful places in Italy, you need to know that you need to have your shoulders and your knees covered. It's required to enter a lot of churches and they enforce it.
So, if you're wearing a tank top or a sleeveless top, for example, what you want to do is carry a light scarf or a shawl with you so that you can wrap it around you when you go into a church. It only takes about 3 seconds and it'll keep you from getting turned away at the door. Now, if you forgot to bring a scarf or a shawl, don't panic because a lot of times there are vendors in the piazza or outside the church that will sell you one, probably overpriced, but if you want to go in the church, you can get one from them for a few euro. And honestly, the moment you walk into a church, you're going to be glad you have that scarf because you're about to find out why churches are secretly the best place to cool down in Italy.
Our next tip is to seek out some of these naturally cool places like churches. These places that have thick stone walls and high ceilings and very little light coming in directly and marble floors. All of those things serve to keep you cool, and they're places you could just walk into. Step inside almost any church and you'll feel the temperature drop immediately.
The same goes for underground sites. These are amazing to visit in summer because not only are they cool, they're fascinating, and as an added bonus, tend to have fewer crowds than those big blockbuster sites.
In Rome, we love the catacombs, the Vicus Caprarius, the Domus Aureus, Nero's underground palace, and the Basilica of San Clemente, where you go down through layers of history and get cooler and cooler.
And some museums just have great air conditioning. In Rome, the Palazzo Barberini is wonderful. In Florence, we like the Museo dell'Opera del Duomo and the Palazzo Strozzi. And these are all well air conditioning and genuinely great museums.
The Ospedale degli Innocenti in Florence is another one. It's a fascinating story with a great collection and a wonderful building and a great place to be on a hot day.
But don't assume all museums will be cool. The Vatican museums and the Uffizi Gallery are notoriously hot. Other museums may have air conditioning, but sometimes it's only in certain galleries, and often the air conditioning or the cooling is spotty from room to room.
So when you're planning your day, think strategically. Think these underground places and these air-conditioned places in the middle of the day, and do your outside activities in the morning and in the late afternoon.
Our next tip is to carry a fan. Now this seems old-fashioned, but carry a fan. I do.
Anne always has a folding fan in her purse, and I used to tease her about it. But now I wish I had a convenient place to carry one.
You can find hand-painted fans for just a few euro in a lot of the little Italian markets. Now, if you want something more modern and more practical, you can get one of these little folding battery fans, and they are genuinely effective and have multiple speeds, or at least this one I have does. So it goes like this, and you can turn it up and make it go even faster. And it actually is rechargeable. So it has little ports here so you can recharge it. And then when you're done, you just turn it off, close it up, except it doesn't close, and put it in your purse. Now, before your trip, you could go on Amazon. They have a whole bunch of them, and I'll link this one below, but there are others.
So having a fan is a small thing, but it can make a big difference.
Our next tip is to skip the alcohol at lunch, and we'll tell you what to have instead. This is a hard one. You're in Italy, and Italy is known for having great wine that's affordable. But honestly, if you have wine at lunch, but alcohol in the summer heat, it will wipe you out. Not only will it dehydrate you, but combined with the summer heat, you will just hit the wall. So avoid that. Better to save your wine drinking for dinner time.
Instead, and this is the fun part, Italy has some great ways to cool you down that won't dehydrate you. My first example would be gelato. A gelato on a hot afternoon, there's really nothing better.
But have you had a granita? It is semi-frozen flavored ice that originated in Sicily. It's not as hard as a slushie. It's more like beautiful, crystalline, flavored snow. You find them everywhere in the summertime.
And then there's spremuta, fresh squeezed orange juice. In fact, it's made right in front of you. The oranges go into the press and the nice cold, refreshing juice comes out the bottom. A wonderful treat on a hot day.
It's cool, it's sweet, it's packed with vitamins, and it feels like exactly what your body needs after you've been trudging around in the hot sun.
Here's our next tip. Don't be fooled by restaurants with misters. Here's the situation. You're walking through a major piazza and you spot an outdoor restaurant, and it's got these misters, these things that are blowing a cool mist over the tables, and you feel it as you walk by and you think, let's eat here, it'll be nice and cool.
Don't.
Just don't.
These setups are almost always tourist traps. The food is overpriced and underwhelming, and the misters are set up mostly aimed outward toward the piazza in order to lure you in, not to cool down the tables once the people sit there. The people sitting at the tables actually aren't getting as much benefit as you think they are.
So do this. Find a little restaurant on a side street, a ways away from the piazza, a place where locals are likely to eat, and you'll find that you'll have a better meal at a lower price and probably be just as cool there.
Now, on a truly brutal day, the kind where the city feels like a concrete oven, just give yourself permission to just leave town.
If you're based in Rome, the beach is very accessible. The beach at Ostia is only about a half an hour on the train, and those at Fregene and Anzio are a little further. And the one at Santa Marinella, which is beautiful, is just a tiny bit further than that.
Or go to a lake. Lago di Bracciano is lovely and only about an hour from Rome. You can go there, swim, have lunch, and be back in the city by evening. If you're up north in Umbria or Tuscany, Lago di Bolsena and Lago di Trasimeno are also wonderful.
And if you have more time and a rental car and want to do something that's not the beach, the hills and the mountains are also a good place to go. The Castelli Romani Hills, just south of Rome, are a wonderfully cool place. In fact, it's where the Pope has had his summer residence for centuries. Or you can go a little further into the Apennine Mountains, and the temperature difference will be remarkable.
Sometimes the best Italy day is one where you don't see any monuments at all.
And here are a couple of bonus tips that we swear by.
If you're staying in an Airbnb, take a water bottle and fill it up about 2/3 of the way with water the night before and put it in the freezer. And then the next morning, take it out of the freezer, top it off with water, and voila, you'll have cold water for hours. Game changer.
Or get yourself a small microfiber towel. They're small, lightweight, easy to pack. What you do is get them wet with cold water and just wring them out. And then you can put them on your neck, on your head, wherever you are that's really hot. You'll get instant relief, and it lasts a lot longer than you might expect.
We both carry one now. They cost almost nothing, and they're absolutely worth it. Here's another one for you ladies who like to wear dresses but worry about chafing. You can get one of these little anti-chafe sticks, and you can rub it on your thighs to prevent chafing. It also works great on your feet to prevent blisters.
And if you happen to be a Scot, it works really well under your kilt. Italy in summer can be challenging, but with the right plan, it'll be wonderful.
Here's the thing, you will be hot, but you don't have to be miserable.
If you'd like more tips about traveling to Italy, watch these videos next.
Ciao for now.
A presto!